Merab versus Sean O'Malley will be a completely different fight with the same exact outcome. Now, my first ever video, I predicted this fight and I was ultra confident in Sean O'Malley winning. I felt like if less strikers like Henry Cejudo could wobble and hurt Merab, Sean O'Malley surely could do it and finish him. I also thought that his get-up ability was pretty good. I knew that Merab probably wouldn't be able to hold him down. And I felt like even if it went to the scorecards, Sean O'Malley could do well and probably win the fight, because if anyone's going to do damage, it's going to be Sean O'Malley. So I was super confident. And even though it was a close fight, I was completely wrong. Merab came out there very patient, and even though it was a good approach, I don't think that he could have the same exact game plan again. Sean O'Malley, who's expecting the usual Merab, shooting 6 to 7 takedowns around, but he just didn't get that. He got a Merab that was very patient, didn't make many mistakes, and just waited for Sean O'Malley to get tired of throwing the same exact straight shot to the body, open up, and take him down. And that's exactly what happened. Merab came out with a really unique game plan that I don't think any of us was really expecting, especially Sean O'Malley. Now, for Merab, this isn't a great game plan for the rematch, and while it did work in the first fight, we saw that Sean O'Malley didn't gas out. In the 5th round, he was able to hurt Merab, and he won 2 of the last 3 rounds of the fight. I feel like for Merab, he needs to kind of go early with his usual pace and gas out Sean O'Malley, because this way Sean O'Malley, instead of being dangerous for all 5 rounds, yes, Merab is going to put himself in the fire. He's going to be in a lot more danger in the first 2, but after the first 2 rounds, he's not really going to be in much danger if he's able to gas out Sean O'Malley like he was against Umar, who's a much more superior grappler. For Sean O'Malley, should he stick with the same game plan as the first fight? This is pretty tough to say because Merab probably will come out different. I feel like Sean O'Malley, obviously, he needs to let his hands go. He has to stop fearing the takedown. He has to accept he will get taken down. It's all about getting right back up to his feet. Unlike the first fight where he got controlled for a long period of time in the 2nd and 4th round, which honestly was pretty surprising. And I feel like Sean O'Malley, he has so many ways to win on the feet. The knee up the middle is going to be there. Again, he has to stop just throwing straight shots to the body. That's not going to hurt Merab in all likelihood, and it's not going to finish him surely. Merab is very tough. Sean O'Malley can win a decision, which he almost did in the first fight, but I just don't see it very likely in this time because Sean O'Malley, I assume, is going to be more aggressive. He's going to use up a lot more energy instead of just staying on his back. And I feel like for Merab, the big problem is he is extremely durable. It's going to be very hard. He's not chinny for Sean O'Malley to put him away. And I do believe Sean O'Malley can rock and will rock Merab much worse this fight. But if he does, he's going to use up energy trying to finish the fight. And if he does that early, he's not going to have enough energy for the following 3 rounds, which is a big problem for him. Now, Sean O'Malley, he does a good job at when he hurts people like Chito Vera. He doesn't use up all of his gas tank. He's very patient. He's still going to use up a decent amount of his gas tank to finish the fight compared to the previous fight where he didn't really hurt him that much, so he didn't have to use up a ton of gas tank, and he was relatively low output. Picking Sean O'Malley does make sense. I don't think it's an awful pick, but to be honest, the first fight was much closer than people think. I think the only reason people called it a domination is 1, it was an upset. 2, Merab, the rounds that he won, the 2nd and 4th round, he won them in a dominant fashion compared to Sean O'Malley, where his rounds, he kind of just barely outpointed Merab. I know the first round was close, but I feel like that's why people called it a domination. I also fear that if Sean O'Malley comes out super slow, which he does normally do, he doesn't use a ton of output in the first round like he did against Aljo. He started off super slow and he was able to get the 2nd round KO. But if Sean O'Malley does that, he could end up like Peter Yan, where he doesn't have time to make his reads, his adjustments, and he just ends up falling into Merab's fight. Other thing that's pretty concerning is how easily Merab was able to take down Sean O'Malley and how easily he was able to hold him down. Merab is just known as a guy that kind of just fails at takedowns. He doesn't get any control time, but it was different with Sean O'Malley, and I just think it's because Sean O'Malley, his grappling is a little bit overrated, definitely by me early on, and I think Sean O'Malley, he's just not up there with Umar and some of these other guys, Henry Cejudo, especially where his wrestling, his get-up ability just isn't the same. Also think Merab, his striking is pretty underrated. I think he's good enough to keep it close on the feet. Sean O'Malley, he's not a guy that has super high output. I think overall it will be a different fight from both guys, But I just see Merab winning the first round, Sean O'Malley coming out slow again. I think the second round, Sean O'Malley probably will hurt, either in the second or third, in my opinion. Merab, he's going to rock him, but he's going to use up a decent amount of energy. He's going to clearly win that round. He's going to come out kind of taking the third round off. Merab is going to get his pace going, have a comeback round. I think it's going to be 2-1 Merab. And then for the fourth or fifth, I think that Sean O'Malley will probably lose the fourth round, and I think the fifth round he's going to win because Merab is just going to coast, similar to the first fight, which is a big reason why Sean O'Malley was able to hurt him. Merab knew that he was up and he just was going to coast in the fifth round. I don't really see that happening again, and I think he's going to win a 48-47 decision in a similar fashion where, you know, the rounds are pretty dominant, but he's going to clearly be the better fighter. And Sean O'Malley, he definitely can win this. I just don't see him finishing Merab, and I think Merab is going to have a much higher pace where Sean O'Malley cannot win a decision. So I'm going to go with Merab by a 48-47 decision in a pretty close competitive fight. I think he's the bantamweight GOAT, and I know Sean O'Malley has had a ton of time to prepare. He's locked in. I just don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, and I think Merab can outdo his first fight. I think that he is good enough, and I think he has improved. Shown in the Umar fight, he shows up injured every single fight as well. I have Merab. I'm somewhat confident. I'm not like the odds makers where I have it like -325. I think Merab should be like a -180, something like that. He definitely should be the favorite, and I do think he wins this fight. I am a little bit nervous because it does remind me a little bit of the JDM versus Bilal fight, where you saw someone who I think is a little bit overrated, like Bilal Muhammad, not be able to take him down. We could see that in this fight, but I think Sean O'Malley, I think his grappling, I don't think it's on the same level as JDM. And I think for striking wise, I just don't think he's like, I mean, it's close, him and JDM, on who's the better striker, but I just don't see him getting the knockout. I don't think he wins this fight. I'm going with Merab. Let me know what you disagree with, who you're going with. But yeah, that is it for me. Let me know what you think.